we should keep going into the end of 2025 if we're just repeating the same old cycle, which I think we are, because the Bitcoin halving cycle is the same as the election cycle, is the same as the everything code global debt refi cycle. They're all the same thing. So I don't see any reason why it won't play out that way, and that's what I'm expecting. So good times lie ahead. Ethereum perfectly works against a global liquidity index. And again, it suggests that Ethereum may have a really good first half of 2024. The target from using the liquidity indicator would be about 5,300. Again, don't take this as written in stone. It's directionally, we should be coming to all-time highs in Ethereum in the first half of 2024. Let's see how that plays out, but it makes me very bullish on crypto assets. Bitcoin has actually outperformed FedNet liquidity, the beach ball underwater. Why? Because of the narrative around the ETF. Also, in macro crypto spring, Bitcoin always outperforms. Much like in macro spring, treasuries tend to outperform credit. Later, when we move to macro summer, alts, ETH first, Solana, others will start to massively outperform Bitcoin, much like junk bonds outperform treasuries. So ETH is just doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's not giving us the big surprise. I think that surprise comes the moment the ETF is out in Bitcoin, and people will focus on the ETH ETF, and it'll bring the ETH ecosystem alive. This year, it's been a story of Solana, which I've been along all year, and Bitcoin. That barbell has been the best trade in the world. Or in fact, just owning Solana has been the best trade in the world, bar none. But ETH, it'll play catch up. It'll do well. Here's the ETH chart versus Bitcoin back in the 2014 to 16 phase, going in to remember where I've said I think this is a similarity repeat of the 2016-17 cycle. It's at this point that you had the sideways consolidation, the breakout, the next consolidation, and then it goes batshit crazy. We're into this peak phase. I think we go a bit further, and then we'll correct, whether it's sideways or a sharper correction, who the hell knows, doesn't matter. Just don't use leverage, stay in the trade. And if you get some cash, buy into the next set of weaknesses. Normally these corrections are like 30%, these bigger corrections, so expect something like that. It shouldn't freak you out. You should be expecting it. If you've got cash, you should add. It'll be your last chance to add at decent levels, because then things go bananas. Also, Bitcoin, I think most of you realize, is just a beautiful cycle. The purple shaded are the Bitcoin bear cycles. They're 1 year. That's all they are. 1 year cycle. Yeah, they crush you, but they're 1 year. And then the rest of it just recovers. So as you can see, I think this cycle we're in now looks more like that 2015, 16, 17 than it did 19, 20, 21. 19 came out of the gates really, really fast, then corrected. Then we had COVID, which we're not going to repeat. I know many people are expecting, we're going to get a 50% collapse and you buy that one. It's not going to happen. Of course, you'll get corrections. I think they're most likely more sideways, give or take a 20 to 30% range, because that's the world we live in crypto. Crypto is the horse I back the most. It's the fastest horse in the race, best risk-adjusted returns, high correlation to this global liquidity index, which is our everything code. So we know how the asset price behaves, which gives us a competitive advantage when we use our proprietary frameworks. Bitcoin is just a macro asset. All of the noise you see from the Financial Times, all the newspapers, to all of the media, to the noise on Twitter, to the naysayers, oh my God, this is magic internet money, this is magic beans, they're all wrong. They're all wrong. Bitcoin is a macro asset, like everything else, works from the same thing. Liquidity, business cycles, secular trend. Global M2, fabulous correlation, Bitcoin. I've been using this all the time. It helped us catch the low in November last year. It'll keep going, as we showed earlier, anyway. So this cycle should keep extending, and we'll get amazing rates of return, because the year-on-year rate of growth starts exploding if you look at that left-hand scale. We can also look at why I choose crypto versus the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ's such a damn good bet, why would I not choose that? Well, because Bitcoin year on year Bitcoin divided by the NASDAQ year on year also follows M2. So when liquidity conditions are rising, crypto outperforms tech stocks. And that's because of the structure and incentive systems built into a tokenized ecosystem, where you're owning part of the underlying network and you get paid for the adoption of the network. Some equities can look like Bitcoin. We've seen Nvidia, for example, see network adoption at scale, and it ends up looking a lot like Bitcoin. But the index as a whole, it will always underperform. So that's why I'm so heavily weighted in the crypto space.
As we wrap it up, it's clear to see that Ethereum and Bitcoin's journey is an absolute captivating one, poised on the brink of potential milestones that could absolutely redefine its complete trajectory. The projections for Ethereum and Bitcoin's price prediction of 2024 are a topic of intense speculation, especially in the light of a potential ETF, or an exchange-traded fund. Renowned financial expert Raul Pal has voiced his optimism regarding Ethereum's future, suggesting that an ETF could serve as a catalyst for a monumental surge in its value. Pal's insights carry weight in the crypto world, considering his track record of astute predictions. The possibility of an ETF's introduction in 2024 holds significant promise, potentially streamlining Ethereum's accessibility to a wider pool of investors, institutions, and also the public. If history is an indication, which it is, such developments have historically propelled the prices of cryptos to unprecedented heights. While predictions are never certain in a volatile realm of crypto, the potential impact of an ETF on Ethereum and Bitcoin's price is a narrative that continues to fuel excitement and anticipation within the crypto community. So keep an eye on the developments surrounding ETH and Bitcoin as 2024 approaches, and the stage is set. And with the winds of change blowing, the direction of Ethereum's price trajectory could very well hinge on these monumental shifts in the financial landscape. Stay tuned for updates and an analysis as we navigate this thrilling journey together. And thanks for watching, and as always, invest wisely.